Good afternoon, guys. So today in the news we have this idiot. He's a college professor, and it's outrageous what he said. He should have been fired, but he's not. The school said he has a right to say that. This is what I'm talking about when I say your kids are having a liberal beatdown taught to them in school. They're getting that pounded into their brain, the liberal ideas. And it's not right. It's not fair to these kids because it's not only doing one thing. It's getting them in trouble. That's all it's doing. Because now they think they're entitled to everything free, while these colleges are the ones raising prices on these kids. They're the ones raising your prices there, snowflakes. It ain't the government, so don't blame the government for high tuition costs. Blame people like him who get paid high dollar to teach you how to choke somebody with their intestines. This guy's sick. He needs to be called out and fired. This college needs to get rid of this kind of bullcrap. Trump needs to step up, more power, get rid of these schools that beat the liberal ideas, wrong ideas, the far left liberal ideas, like this guy. They need to get it out of schools. I would defund these schools if I was Trump. Defund them and get rid of these professors. Until they get rid of these professors, don't give them no more money. Hell with these guys. They get high enough tuition costs from the kids. Don't fund them.
Midwestern State University Professor Nathan Junn called for all law enforcement officials to be strangled to death in August, and now he's facing death threats and doxing attempts. Poll: are you excited about voting in the upcoming presidential election? According to his faculty page at the school, Junn teaches courses healthcare ethics, philosophy of race and racism, multicultural philosophy, and philosophy of horror and macabre, among others. What are the details? Junn made the remarks in a now viral Facebook thread, which painted a grisly picture of capitalists and police officers. According to the College Fix, Junn wrote, "I want the entire world to burn until the last cop is strangled with the intestines of the last capitalist, who is strangled in turn with the intestines of the last politician." After Junn's statement went viral, the school issued a public statement backing Junn's right to make such statements. As a public university, we recognize and protect individuals' free speech rights under the First Amendment so that ideas and information may be freely exchanged and examined without the threat of censorship or retaliation.
You only
a
get
statement
that.
shared Friday on
You only get that you're entitled to free speech if you're a leftist liberal. But you go to this college and try to say anything conservative, Republican, or right-leaning, far-right, whatever. You get kicked out of school, suspended, and possibly never allowed back on that campus again. So this free speech that this guy says he's allowed all students, that's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie.
Information may be freely exchanged and examined without the threat of censorship or retaliation, a statement shared Friday on KFDX-TV said. Occasionally individuals will express opinions that may be offensive and even shocking, but are nonetheless entitled to First Amendment protection. When our faculty members speak or write as citizens within the confines of the law, they are free from institutional censorship or discipline. Though we take advantage of every opportunity to encourage all members of the campus community to express their opinions in a civil, respectful manner, we view avoidance of censorship as an important part of maintaining the culture of diversity of opinion and academic freedom that is so important to our role as a public university, the statement concluded. What is Jun saying now? Jun, however, took issue with initial reports on the matter and said that it was important that all of his comments be taken in context. He said the lack of apparent context helped gin up the latest in a long line of violent, hysterical attacks against his person and property, according to the fix. Social media user Dead Legender shared what appeared to be a note from Jun to his comrades explaining the context of the remark. A portion of the lengthy note said, within 24 hours of a speech Jun delivered on September 24 during a rally for Breonna Taylor, I already had received several death threats. The situation quickly escalated after fascists, acting in concert with local media, disseminated a comment I posted on a friend's Facebook page. Jun then cited the above-mentioned reporting from KFDX. As of this morning, I have received more than 300 death threats by phone, email, text, and private message. I also discovered that my home had been vandalized again, the 5th time since June, he wrote. The harassment has been so intense that I have been compelled to relocate to a hotel for my own safety, Jun said, according to the fix. It is only because we are living in the midst of a phony, ginned-up hysteria, known by scholars as the Antifa scare, that the local right has decided to go after me, the professor insisted, as reported by the outlet. As a person who doesn't own a gun, or have a criminal record, and who belongs to a member of a historically persecuted group that is greatly underrepresented in Wichita Falls, I am very clearly an easy target for them. He told KFDX that he does yearn to be a part of a utopian society that excludes police officers and politicians. I do long to live in a world in which we no longer have cops, which we no longer have capitalists, and which we no longer have politicians, he admitted. Because those are my political beliefs, and I own them, and I make no apologies for those beliefs. What else? In 2014, Jun shared a video to YouTube titled, What is Anarchist Studies?, in which he describes, well, what anarchist studies is supposed to be. Spoiler, he's not sure what it means, either. In the video, he says, first of all, I think that anarchist studies is a contested term. I don't think that there's any real consensus necessarily among those of us who like to think of ourselves as working in anarchist studies. I think it's something that we're still trying to figure out. I think that we're engaged in active discussions with one another about what anarchist studies is, and what it entails, and what it might be. With that said, he continued, I think that it's possible to provide at least a general account of anarchist studies, and I would say that according to that account, anarchist studies is simply what anarchists do when we reflect honestly on and think critically about ourselves. So, anarchist studies is what anarchists do when we think about what it is we believe, and what it is we do, and what we want to bring about, and how we want to bring it about, and so forth. You can listen to the rest of his explanation in the video below. Exclusive video. Live. Steven Crowder holds rally in Michigan, demands Governor Whitmer release full COVID nursing home mortality.
So this guy is a freaking idiot. See what he has to say here. Probably gonna piss a lot of people off again, but I don't care.
Hey, this is Nathan Jun coming to you from Wichita Falls, Texas. Thanks to Dwayne for inviting me to participate in this project. So, what is anarchist studies? Well, first of all, I think that anarchist studies is a contested term. I don't think that there's any real consensus necessarily among those of us who like to think of ourselves as working in anarchist studies. I think it's something that we're still trying to figure out. I think that we're engaged in active discussions with one another about what anarchist studies is and what it entails and what it might be. But that said, I think that it's possible to provide at least a general account of anarchist studies, and I would say that according to that account, that anarchist studies is simply what anarchists do when we reflect honestly on and think critically about ourselves. So anarchist studies is what anarchists do when we think about what it is that we believe and what it is that we do and what we want to bring about and how we want to bring it about and so forth. I think that that definition is a good one because if it's accurate, then there's a sense in which anarchist studies has sort of is coextensive with anarchism itself, at least to the extent that as long as anarchists have been reflecting on themselves and what they believe and what they do and so forth, then there's an important sense in which anarchists have always been engaged in anarchist studies. The other thing I would say is that anarchist studies is not, contrary to some popular opinion, an academic discipline or something that has been engendered solely within the context of academia. Obviously, there are academics who work on anarchism, and there are anarchists who work in academia, present company included, and all of these folks are making positive contributions to greater or lesser extent to anarchist studies. But again, anarchist studies is not something that, strictly speaking, was engendered by the academy. And so, although I do have a great deal of ambivalence regarding the relationship between anarchist studies and academia, I don't think it's the case that that anarchist studies is just a passing fad, academic fad, or that it runs the risk of somehow being co-opted or appropriated by the academy. And I think that that's because, in my experience, most of the people who work on anarchist studies, at least the ones that that I know well, sort of came to the academic study of anarchism through their involvement in the anarchist movement. And so I think that folks have the wherewithal and the integrity to keep it honest and to prevent that sort of appropriation or co-optation. So I don't know if any of that was meaningful or helpful, but that's sort of my 2 cents. Thanks for listening.
This guy don't know crap. He's, I don't know what he is, but I bet when he got all those threats, he said he had to go to a motel because he wasn't safe. I bet you $100 to a donut that some bitch called the law. Yeah, he makes fun of the cops until he needs the cops. Then what? He runs back out and calls them. He doesn't want them. He wants them strangled. But then he goes back out and calls them. $100 to a donut says that's what he did. This guy is no more than a little leftist crybaby snowflake. He's mad because he don't get his way. And he's allowed to say this at school, and they do nothing to him. He gets away with all this crap. Why? Because these schools are all liberal. They all have that same liberal idea. They support the kids, these colleges, these college professors and all that. They support the liberal kids because they're bringing in all the money. They're the ones paying these big high dollar tuitions. And a second here. But they're paying all these high dollar tuitions, and they expect you to understand their ideas, their liberal views. But the thing is, they don't respect your conservative views. If you lean conservative, you're in the middle, you're an independent, whether you're right, far right, they don't respect your views. They'll kick you out of school for everything you say that's conservative. You can't set up a table outside the college and give people information about the conservative view. You can't tell them what it is. But, or this is it, you'll get kicked off campus or get your ass beat, one or the other. But but if you're liberal and you teach this far left crazy batshit idea, you're fine. They support you. And this college that said that they support this free speech of every student is a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. They know it, but they still say it just to keep everybody calm. That's all it is. They don't want no trouble from the leftist liberals is all it is. If he would have silenced this professor and fired him, the liberals would have been all over that. Black Lives Matter, Antifa would have been at that school tearing it down. He knows it. It's the only reason they support liberals. These liberal professors have been injected into these colleges and into our high schools, beating this liberal idea on our kids. And now you got Vice President Biden, wanting to teach Muslim Islamic religion to our students in all schools. While you can't have your Christian beliefs in school. Your kid can't take his Bible to school or her Bible to school. They can't pray or they'll get kicked out of school. Used to, you can go out to the flagpole and pray. I don't know if you still can or not. Probably not, since all these liberals are antichrists. That's all they are, is a bunch of antichrist babies. They want an anarchist society, and they're working on it. It's going to be there soon, guys. And that ain't no lie. These people have got to stop. They need to stop teaching these kids this liberal bullcrap, making them feel entitled to everything for free, making them feel like they shouldn't have to go out and work for what they get or pay for what they get. It should be all given to them. It's just not right. And it's the government's fault that this is happening. You took the paddle away. You took discipline away from the parents. The parents can't discipline the kids. So now you got these runaway kids just going crazy with their liberal ideas. We need less government, and that's the conservative way. We don't need government interfering on how we raise our kids and how we discipline them. It's the parent's responsibility. It should have never been taken away from the parent. The government don't know how to raise kids. They just want full power of the people. That's all it is. They want to control every aspect of your life. What are you going to do about it? If you're conservative and you're among the silent majority, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to say something finally? Are you going to stand up, or are you just going to sit back and listen? Get on your social media, all forms of it, all platforms, and complain. Complain about what's going on in your schools and what they're teaching your schools. You've got to get rid of this liberal political idea out of schools. We don't need that. We need a free-thinking teacher in schools. We don't need to have them under control by liberal ideas where they can only teach liberal ideas. If they say something that's out of line with the liberals, they take a chance of losing their jobs. But you can go say, I think all cops need to be strangled with their own intestines. What the fuck? And you silent majority out there, and I'm among you, but I'm saying something. You need to stand up. Stand up and say something. Stop sitting on the sidelines. It's time to get back in the game and voice your concerns about these liberal-run schools, these liberals in your office, your politicians. Complain. Flood the phones, folks. Share this video. Share this whole message. Share it, and share it on every platform. Get the word out there. Guys, it ain't going to get no better until you do. You're going to have to stand your ground, get off the sideline, quit sitting there on your butts, say something, complain. President Trump can't do it all himself. He needs you behind him. He needs you in front of him. He needs you all around him. He's taking up for you. He gives this country back to you, the true American. Now get off your butts, get out there and say something. President Trump would appreciate all the help he can get right now. He's got people all around him, all these liberals attacking him at every chance they get. And nobody is taking up for him. Nobody. Except for me and a few other people. Trump's a good-hearted person. He's an honest person. He's doing everything he's doing is for you, the American people. Fact. Everything. He's trying to make America better, a better place for me, you, your kids. He's trying to get rid of these liberal teachers from your schools so they'll stop teaching you the wrong thing. He's trying his hardest, and you guys are on your butts doing nothing. Stand up, you silent majority. It's time. It's been time. Get off the sideline, take your place, complain, call your officials in Congress, tell them you're fed up, you're through. If something's not done, they'll be out. Call your Democratic governors and tell them, stop the violence, you're fed up, you want them to stop it or you'll recall their ass. You want these teachers, these liberal teachers to be fired, and you want free-thinking teachers in there, bipartisan teachers. We can't have this mess that's taught in these schools today. That's what's causing our kids to be snowflakes, feel entitled. They're spoiled. They have to have their little pacifier and their blanket in their safe space. Grow up. You're an adult now. You're in college. You don't need no safe space. You don't need that binky. Give it back to your niece or nephew or whoever. You don't need it. Give the blanket away. Give it to a kid that really needs it. You're not a kid. Grow up, you liberal snowflakes. And the rest of you people out there, you need to start supporting President Trump. He needs it. He needs you to take action. He can't do it all himself, folks. He needs your help to stop this violence that's happening, stop these teachers, all of it. He needs your help. And I hope today you'll stand up, share this post on every platform. I thank y'all. May God bless you. Have a nice day.